That is education. Africans need to be educated by their own resources, by their own tradition, by their own culture, by their own state governance. It shouldn't be from the Western. It shouldn't be from Asia. It shouldn't be from anywhere else. If anybody visited Africa, it's because they are coming to congratulate us for how well we have built our nations and our continent, not because they found out that there's gold and oil here, so they're coming to take their share. This is the change that we are asking for the youth of today. This is the revolutionary movement we're talking about. We don't have a fight with anybody. We're not fighting with our fathers, with our leaders. We're just saying that, look, we want to change because we're thinking the likes of the Western for the future of our children's children and our race and our culture to be respected.
That was a piece from Nana Bekwele Bedeko. He's a Ghanaian, and he shared such a deep insight that I couldn't help but share with the rest of you this morning. I said, well, there's always a strong message when I start my show, and this is just like it's not coming in a song format today, but it still is just as powerful as so many other songs that I've shared in on the course of the show when I kickstarted. And I think that for me, this has always been the problem with Africa, with Nigeria, wherein we have failed to understand how to reconstruct, how to recreate, how to refurbish, or how to re-engineer, or how to redesign a thing for the benefit of the people. We continually only harness raw materials and understand it. This is valuable. This is it. We don't know how to increase the value of that thing which we have. We don't know how to make it sought after. We don't know how to make it more refined than it were, as we have seen raw, as it were. It's the same thing you see everywhere. It's the same you will find with our oil. It's the same you will find with our human capital power that we have. When I say human capital power, I mean the workforce, the people. It's the same thing you will see anywhere else. It just prevails the land like some illness. It's like there's a thick clog that just messes up our heads, and we can't see through the very thing we see. So we hold gold in our hands and we can't imagine what to do with that gold and to make it the most sought after. Yeah, it's refined. We have it. So how's my gold any different from the gold in South Africa? How is it any different from the gold in India? How is it any different from the gold in China? Or any? I remember then, there was a point you say, oh, you want to get Indian gold because of how the yellow in the Indian gold was set in a certain way and the designs that came from there. And then there was, we want to get Saudi Arabia gold because it was mellow. It wasn't as bright as, Indian gold. And there was a way they went about their own design. And there was Italian and there was Romanian gold. Everybody just seemed to understand what to do with their gold to get a section of that market to themselves. So you're not just buying any gold, but you want their gold because of a certain thing they've done to improve theirs. What is wrong? When we discover Nigerian gold, what is wrong with harnessing it in such a way that people will seek for it because this is Nigerian gold, this is Nigerian design, this is how it is, this is, because the minerals here have formed our gold. There might be certain elements in the minerals we have here that has given our own gold a certain hue. Same with with oil. We've got one of the very best. Doesn't take that much for it to be refined. And yet we can't refine it the way we need to. We have to go all the way outside the country to buy refined petrol or refined crude as petrol. The same way cocoa. Yesterday we spoke about cocoa living, but I mean, we could stay forever just sending cocoa out. We'll never move away from sending cocoa out of our shores to making chocolates out of it or making beverages or pushing it into anything else. The other day I was watching, I can't remember what it was on Discovery Channel or something like that. But there was a lady, and this is in the UK, and she was going around coffee shops. They drink a lot of coffee there. And what she was taking was from the coffee shops, when they grind their beans to make fresh coffee, she was taking the rind, when you grind the coffee, the bits of it that you have left, in the strainers. So she was going around and collecting that. And with that, she was able to make coal, so to say, like the coal you and I know about, charcoal, so to say. And people could use, she made them in nice round circles. It didn't have that much smoke and smell that was associated rather with others, but it had this rich smell of coffee beans when you lit it. It burnt slower, and that means that you could use one coal longer than one from the ordinary coal you probably get elsewhere. And she found out that there was a market for it, for people who wanted to burn incense, for people who also wanted to warm their homes and didn't want to buy logs and stuff. There was a demand for it. And for me, it was just somebody who saw beyond what was obvious and said, I can turn this to something. I find that rather very strange that we don't realize what we can turn materials into here, and we only see them in their raw forms. Recently, I met a lady who uses abandoned tires, vehicle tires, and any tire at all into decoration pieces and furniture. Amazing stuff she's doing there. But, I was thinking, this is something that on a national level, you expect the leaders, the ones who say they are the leaders, that once they get there, they're able to see our problems, as it were, and they refine solutions to these things. But it's almost the same thing. Each government comes in and go, they're still giving us the same thing. It's about time we realize how to refine our own materials for our own self. And like Bekwele said here that I just played for you. He said, unfortunately, the Europeans came in, found our coal, found our oil, used a lot of that to develop their societies for themselves and their children's children. And now we go there because of their established societies. And we fail to do that for ourselves. So what does that mean? That when we do have our children's children coming to be, they will also keep heading to those areas because they have a better refined society. It's about time we start thinking and planning constructively for the future we desire for our people and ourselves. So this is where I will pause on that. But the piece here I'm asking each and everyone is, as you go about your day, as you engage your day, and you've addressed your issues in the regular way you've always addressed them, and it doesn't seem to make way. Have you thought of attacking it differently? Have you thought of dealing with that problem in a different manner than you have been doing? Perhaps that's where the answer lies. So try something a little different today. In retrospect, I think I would have done a lot of things differently. And I'll have achieved a lot more than I have because I was just using the things I had as crudely as they were. I didn't think of refining them for better use. And I think that with that knowledge, we might be able to achieve much more than we are set to do now that we know that we can actually sit down and plan an action, look at it from all forms, get refined answers to it, and apply. All right, well, that does it. Like I say, we'll move on to a newspaper review segment now. And you know what they say, a word is enough for the wise. And I believe I speak to wise people every morning. Catch up with our newspaper review segment papers. It's on our Facebook page, Today95.1 FM. We also have it on Twitter, and our Twitter page is at TodayFM951. Okay? So for the stories that we have, or should I say the captions in our stories now? The captions that we'll be looking at this morning, let me start from the very beginning. And we have the Punch newspaper. Buhari leaves for London. Medical holiday today as doctors set for strike. Buhari leaves for London medical holiday today as doctors set for strike. And Nigerians tired of fasting introduce stimulus, Tinubu tells federal government. Nigerians tired of fasting introduce stimulus, Tinubu tells federal government. Myanmar crackdown death toll passes 500. Myanmar crackdown death toll passes 500. Lagos accounts for 12.15% as state debts hit 4.2 trillion naira. Lagos accounts for 12.15% as state's debts hit 4.2 trillion naira. Insecurity, Nigeria competed with bandits to recruit unemployed youths. Tinubu says. Insecurity, Nigeria competed with bandits to recruit unemployed youths. Tinubu with that position. Insecurity, Buhari to send supplementary budget to NAS. Insecurity, Buhari to send supplementary budget to NAS. Court OK suit seeking to quash appointment of new appeal court justices. Court OK suit to quash appointment of new appeal court justices. And we also have in the Vanguard newspaper, Wike as an apostle of even development. Wike as an apostle of even development. Return repatriated $4.2 million to Delta. Niger Delta agitators tell federal government. Return repatriated $4.2 million to Niger Delta. Niger Delta agitators tell federal government. Traditional rulers pledge neutrality on national issues. You find that in this day newspaper. Traditional rulers pledge neutrality on national issues. Buhari Silva Barikindo tip gas as economic growth driver. Buhari Silva Barikindo tip gas as economic gas driver. And from this day newspaper, PDP suspends ex-Niger Governor Aliu for funding APC. PDP suspends ex-Niger Governor Aliu for funding APC. The audacity of non-state actors. You'll find that story in this day newspaper. The audacity of non-state actors. And now to the Guardian newspaper. Row over 12 or 27 billion naira aviation intervention fund. Row over 27 billion naira aviation intervention fund. And in NDLEA intercepts over 2 billion naira worth of illicit drugs at Lagos Airport. NDLEA intercepts over 2 billion naira worth of illicit drugs at Lagos Airport. Finally, from the Thai News Online, Wike creating a truly oil gas capital of Nigeria. Dana go with that position there. Wike creating a truly oil gas capital of Nigeria. So we'll start from the very top. And it says here that Buhari sets for London for medical holiday as doctors are also set for a strike. The president is to spend 2 weeks in the United Kingdom for routine checkup. Nigerian Association of Resident Doctors on Monday insisted on its plan to begin a nationwide strike on Thursday, saying the federal government was not sincere in implementing agreements. The first vice president of the NARD, Dr. Arome Adejo, who spoke on behalf of the president of the association, Dr. Uyilawa Okawi Yesuyi, in an interview with The Punch, said government failed to implement an agreement it reached with the doctors at a meeting 3 weeks ago. The NARD first vice president stated this as the Minister of State for Labor and Employment, Festus Keyamo, urged the association to put on hold its planned indefinite strike. He said the planned industrial action was deemed apprehended once negotiation had been opened with the union. But while the federal government was trying to convince doctors not to go on strike, the presidency said President Muhammadu Buhari would travel to London on Tuesday, which is today, for medical treatment. Recall that NARD had on March 18 told The Punch that families of frontline doctors who died of COVID-19 had been abandoned by the federal government. On Sunday, the NARD called on its members to commence what it called a total indefinite strike on April 1st by 8 a.m. If the federal government refused to accede to its demands, the decision was reached during the association's extraordinary National Executive Council meeting held on Saturday in Abuja to review its earlier ultimatum to the government. All right, there you have that. Not to go on strike. He's not striking, he's going on a vacation, a 2 weeks medical vacation, they say, to London. Emmanuel Ndukwe, good morning.
Good morning, Annie. Good morning, Nigeria. I think there's nothing wrong with going because it's a medical checkup and all that. It's been a routine for the president, and I think nothing is wrong if he could go also. And then that of the resident doctors warming up for a strike, I think it's already on ground before this one filtered in. So I don't think it needs the president to dissuade them not to go on that strike or otherwise. So I think officials of government could also continue discussing with them. But one bad point of this medical trip is that it shows that government is determined and so far has not been able to do anything in our health sector. Because this is a medical checkup. I think if they've been able to bring our health sector up to stream, they would have indeed been able to say, President, check here. But right now, if you keep him here, then we may be crying. So it's better he goes where there are facilities. Then I'm asking, those people that have facilities, are they not humans? Can we say that we are poor?
Okay, Manuel, we got your thoughts there. Dr. Bijima joins us. He's a journalist and international affairs analyst. Great to have you. Good morning.
Thank you. Good morning. And good morning, everybody.
And let's get your thoughts there.
Well, it speaks of the parallel state of our health system in Nigeria. And the two, it also speaks of insincerity in our president to really disclose 6 years good checkup. Why medical checkup should take a whole 2 weeks? We're all human beings. It doesn't have a different kind of body that some of us have, and our own checkup does not take more than a day.
That's your own, for your kind of your illness.
Which illness?
That's the kind of yours for your own kind of illness. Like you said, you don't know what it is.
So the point is that he did not tell us that he's ill. It says medical checkup. So we can check up our body anytime we want to check up. Does not mean
yes,
that
but we know the president
ill.
has had a prevailing illness.
Okay.
So if he's going for checkup, obviously to be in line.
You are the one telling us.
I'm not telling you. Everybody knows. If you don't want to know, let me just remind you.
I do also know.
You know.
I know.
Okay.
He has a health issue now. Is it unknown?
He doesn't want to know.
The point there is that within this period of pandemic, this lockdown and all those things, we are anticipating that the government will kind of rise up to the occasion to fix our health system. Unfortunately, nothing seems to be happening in that sector. Even the Assault Villa Clinic. And if we don't have that kind of facility, I think the River State government opened a clinic in the government house and they say we with world-class equipment and all those things. The president would have availed himself of that opportunity to come to Port Harcourt here, for such checkup than spending our resources.
Okay.
That is making a trip to London.
All right, we got your thoughts there.
For medical checkup.
We got your thoughts. And I think, too, it's just a shame that, ever since he came on board, it's been, 6 years now, and he came on board with this ailment. Because we remember, right from get-go, he's always had to go to London for one treatment or the other. One will have thought that in his capacity as president, that if there was anything else he would be passionate about, it would be fixing the health sector. And that if nothing at all, he will have made one hospital stand out enough to take care of whatever reasons he has to keep going to London for. And at least he will have been going there now instead of having to jet to London. And we know that his private jet that will be parked waiting for him will have to keep paying for each day that he's parked there. And the fact that he's going to go with a retinue of people, I can't expect that the president alone will be in that flight. There's a lot of money we're also expending there. And we're talking about Nigeria that, our debt balance keeps increasing. Each time I say it, I'm taken aback with how much we have increased in our debts. We must find ways where we must curtail excessive spending. And I will have felt that the president will have been smarter than that and said, look, we'll hold on to these resources we have here, spend all the nairas we can spend in our naira economy and not start thinking of how to spend pounds at this moment. He should have taken care of a hospital. Like you mentioned, Dr. Budima, there's the Assault Clinic there. What if he had done that up to standards that any president that comes in doesn't have to go anywhere? Everything they need will be in that. At least he has taken care of that. If he came and inherited an Assault Clinic that couldn't do it, well, then he should have fixed it before he left. For someone who has had this health challenge, I felt it was an oversight, a terrible oversight on his part, as far as I'm concerned. And the coincidence, again, it just further glares or puts this in our glare that the health sector is in shambles. He's leaving, Nardi saying we're striking. Because look, since January, when we went at an agreement, you've not done anything about it. We have workers, we have colleagues who died. Nothing was done for them. And then I have to go to London, I have an ailment. I'm sorry. It's, just doesn't fall right. Buhari leaves, coincidence, unfortunately, but like I said, it doesn't fall, right? Buhari leaves for London medical holiday today as doctors set for strike. And then you also have, in the Punch, Nigerians tired of fasting introduce stimulus. Tinubu tells federal government. The national leader of the All Progressives Congress, Asiwaju Bola Tinubu, says Nigerians are tired of fasting, adding that the federal government must introduce a stimulus package rather than preaching austerity. Tinubu said this at the 12th Bola Tinubu colloquium held in commemoration of his 69th birthday in Kano on Monday. Speaking at the event with the theme, Our Common Bond, Our Common Wealth, the imperative of national cohesion for growth and prosperity, former governor of Lagos said the package of 1.9 trillion naira, or $1.9 trillion to its citizens and more was on the way, adding that such was the way to go. He stated it is time to put stimulus in place. This is no time for austerity. I hope you listen carefully. This is not the time to constrain the economy. This is the time to create the opportunity. If you hear America spending $1.9 trillion and they're not looking back and they're still asking for $3 trillion for infrastructure and renewal and creating jobs, and your own unemployment rate is 33% and you're asking us to keep fasting, we're not fasting anymore. We have been fasting for many years. I hope the National Assembly, I hope the president himself will not pay attention to austerity. He noted that the high rate of unemployment has made banditry and terrorism attractive to the youth. Well, we'll leave that part down because we'll deal with that issue in another headline. But here he says we're tired of fasting. Look, what we need now is a stimulus package. United States is doing it. Why is the federal government not heeding that?
You know, when something gets so bad.
But just a quick question here. How many African countries are doing stimulus?
Well, I think Tinubu wants to focus on Nigeria.
He's comparing to the United States, and I'm one.
No, usually we'll jet out from Africa to United States in comparison.
Really? We're so comfortable to do that.
See, I think what Tinubu is saying, even though he wants to be melodramatic about it, is the right thing. Nigerians, truly, nobody urged them to fast. No. But it looks as if the situation is about fasting because things are rough. And once things have gotten so bad that the inner members of a family is speaking out in this way, I think everybody knows that, yes, we've reached the zenith of suffering. Tinubu ordinarily is supposed to have been, in fact, peppering the affairs of APC as government because he is a full... maybe stalwart in it. But he is speaking. I hope President Buhari will listen to him because the economic condition in this country is getting out of hand. In fact, it has gotten out of hand already. So that's what Tinubu is saying. Please, this is looking like fasting, and we don't want to fast again.
Yeah.
Introduce stimulus.
All right. Dr. Bijima.
Well, every government, the welfare of the people is their paramount objective. But unfortunately, what we see in Nigeria is that the interests of the ruling class, the political leaders, their interests appear to be paramount than the welfare of the citizens. Why must we not make comparison? They want to hack the price of fuel again. And they are telling us that in Congo, Brazzaville, pump price of fuel is 500 naira. In Sudan and all those things. You know, they make these comparisons when they want to punish Nigerians. Why will you not also make comparisons, you know, with like what Tinubu did with America? But you are hacking fuel this thing, your minimum wage is 30,000 naira. Congo Brazzaville, the minimum wage is 150 naira. 150,000 naira. You know, per month. And when they're making these comparisons, they will not also tell us the welfare packages in those countries they're making comparison with when they want to hack fuel price. They will only look at the cost of the fuel. And without, even in Congo, once a woman is pregnant for 3 months, the government takes over the care of that. That's welfare provision they make for their citizens. Do you have such welfare packages here? Look at how this COVID-19 is ravaging. In fact, it has even worsened the situation, the economic situation, increased poverty level unemployment level, and yet nothing is done to cushion the effect this thing has impacted on the citizens of Nigeria. So I stand with Tinubu, even if I would say he's saying all those things for some political benefits or reasons. But whatever it is, did the president even hear what he's saying? The National Assembly, they are even talking about their own welfare and the welfare of their children and their wives and their husbands. They are not talking of the welfare of the general district. But do you blame them? Don't blame them. Blame us Nigerians who are remain those who are refused to rise up to the occasion and tell them, look, it can't be our oppressors in the Commonwealth we all should share. Harold Lasky, he said, sharing the gain that is won. Are we sharing the gain that is won as a nation? No.
Okay. I'm coming. Just a moment now. Just a moment. I'm coming. 43,000. Okay. I was trying to get what you said about Congo, Brazzaville. And you said the minimum wage is what?
150,000.
Congo, Brazzaville's minimum wage is 43,000 Congolese francs.
What is it in Naira?
What is it in Naira?
Yes.
Is 8,245 Naira 61 kobo.
No, it can't be.
It is.
No, it
A
can't be.
Congolese franc is 0.016 to the Naira.
The CFA is
I said
higher
Congolese. It's not. What I used to calculate here is Congolese CFA. There is the West African CFA. Different from Congolese CFA. That's what I want you to understand.
Yes.
Very different from Congolese CFA. The money they use in Congolese Brazzaville is the Congolese CFA.
It's not 8,000 per month.
It is.
No, it's not 8,000 per month.
I don't know where you got yours from.
It's not
But
8,000
a
per
simple
month.
check here just showed me the minimum wage in Congolese Brazzaville is 43,000 CFAs. 43,000 CFAs, Congolese CFAs, change to Nigeria is 8,000 Naira, 245. 61 kobo.
Eight what?
8,245 Naira, 61 kobo.
Per what?
That's the minimum wage.
It's not per month.
It's okay.
Well, ordinarily, I don't think the Congo will be so high or not. Even at that. Even at that. Angola is it not?
Yes.
Oh.
And this is also high. The
Now,
minimum
if
wage.
you are talking about Angola, yes, it will be easy for me to listen. Not Congo. Not Congo.
Congo has a robust economy than Nigeria.
No, it doesn't. No, it does not. Anyways, that's not what we're talking
Not
about.
Congo, Democratic Republic of Congo.
I said let's leave. It's okay.
Let's leave Congo.
Congo. Because what I had, I was shocked. I had to quietly check while you were speaking. Nah.
Just get ready to go there.
You go with me.
No. All right, let's get on back to whatever it is, though. Nigerians are tired. I agree on that part. Nigerians are tired, really. The government must step up, do something differently. We can't continue. And I mean, the fact that the elites still continue to have so much at their table while the rest of us continue to starve is beginning to frustrate so many people. We're not seeing any adjustments in their lifestyle. We're not seeing any adjustments in their mannerisms and how they go about their life. They still go around with the same number of sirens. They still will kick us off the road if they're going. They're still junketing the world. Come on now.
It's terrible.
Nigerians tired of fasting introduce stimulus, Tinubu tells federal government. Well, I hope Tinubu is not telling us he's part of the people fasting. Let's just
Fasting has great.
his level of fasting.
Yes.
Because the people who fast.
Because if things were better than it is, they wouldn't have, in fact, been sharing in the fast.
All right, then. Lagos accounts for 12.15% as state debts hit 4.2 trillion naira. The total states and federal capital territory domestic debt profile hit 4.2 trillion naira, with Lagos State accounting for 12.15% of the debt stock as of the end of 2020. According to the report by the National Bureau of Statistics in its reports on Nigerian domestic and foreign debt on Monday, Jigawa State had the least debt stock in this category with a contribution of 0.74%. Abia, Adama, Akwa Ibom, and Anambra had 89.12 billion naira. That's 2.13%. 98.9. Abia is at 2 billion. Adama, 98 billion for Bauchi. What's Bauchi doing 102 billion? Bayelsa with 144 billion naira. Okay, Bayelsa. Benue with 126 billion. Borno with 89 billion naira, respectively. Cross River, Delta, Ebonyi, Edo had 163 for Cross River, 248, and I'm calling them, please know it's billion. 163 billion for Cross River, 248 billion for Delta, 44 billion for Ebonyi, and 80 billion naira for Edo State. Ekiti, Enugu, Gombe, Imo, and Jigawa had 84 billion for Ekiti State, 68 billion for Enugu, 84 billion for Gombe, 150 billion for Imo State. All the Imo State governors should all come and explain this money. Jigawa had 30 billion. That's why it says the least. 30.9 billion naira, respectively. Kaduna, Kano, Katsina, Kebbi, Kogi, Kwara, and Lagos had 68.75 billion for Kaduna, 116 billion for Kano, 48 billion for Katsina, 506.81 billion for Kebbi, 68 billion for Kogi. What did they use it for? They should ask them. 63.63 billion for Kwara, and Lagos with 508 billion. 508.78 billion for Lagos State. Really, I mean, while Nasarawa, Niger, Osun, Ondo, Ogun, Ondo, Osun, and Oyo had 59 for Nasarawa, 66 for Niger, 153 for Ondo State, 74 billion for Osun, and 134 billion for Oyo State. No, 134 is for Osun, then 94 billion for Oyo State. And then Plateau, Rivers, Sokoto, Taraba, and Yobe. For Plateau State, 137 billion there. What did they use it for, Plateau State? River State, 266.9 billion. River State, we also need to speak. What did we use it for? 42 billion for Sokoto. Taraba, 106.04 billion. Yobe had 54 billion naira.
Yes.
Yobe.
It settles well, 54. Comparing with...
What is Yobe? What did Yobe use that for? Anyways, while Zamfara
At
and the
least it's low.
FCT, had 98 billion for Zamfara and 69 billion for the FCT, respectively. According to the report, Nigerian state and the federal debt stock data as of December 31st, 2020, reflected that the country's total debt, public debt portfolio stood at 32.92 trillion naira. For the disaggregation of Nigeria's foreign debt showed that $17.93 billion of the debt was multilateral, 4.6 billion was bilateral from the AFD, Exim Bank of China, JICA, India, and KfW, while $11.17 billion was commercial, which are Eurobonds and diaspora bonds, and 186.70 as promissory notes. Okay, so the debt profile here broken down. Lagos accounts for 12.15% of the debt. Let's just remember that this is not as per the state governments on board now. I'm sure this has been an cumulative over the years. But for me, the biggest issue here would be when you look at the states and how much they owe, as posited here by the National Bureau of Statistics. Why are they owing so much? Because you're looking at what is on ground and you're wondering where the money went to. I mean, if you look at...
Ebonyi.
Okay, I'll get to Obey. Don't worry. You want to know what you're saying? If you didn't hear it, clear your ears. There's cutting board at the front desk. When you go back, we kept it for people like you. We know that they won't hear. Kept cutting board. They just clear your ears and come back. But you heard that of Kaduna? Did you hear that of Kaduna? Did you hear that of Kaduna? I can read that again for you. Are you from River State? Are you from River State?
Read that out of Kogi State.
Are you from River State? I don't know what he's. Are you from River State? Is a question. I don't know what you're saying. That, as far as that could be Cross River. As far as I'm concerned, that could be Cross River. A simple yes or no. Are you from River State?
And move forward.
You're not even proud of where you're from. All right. This is what we have here for the debt profiles of the states. So, Emmanuel.
Yeah. For me, there is nothing wrong with borrowing, which could also lead to debt. But the problem is that the money so borrowed, were they used for whatever reasons why they were borrowed? Because if you check Lagos, cumulatively we have whatever we have, I want to believe. But if you also check that they've been using it for their state development, as a matter of fact, I want to believe that Lagos is better than all these African countries.
500 billion.
Yes, it's
500 billion, Lagos State.
It's big, Annie. But then you also know they are doing a lot of things.
What are they doing?
But, you know, when you check states like you mentioned Abia, you mentioned some Ebonyi, I can't remember exactly, and some other. Then I begin to wonder. Let me not talk about other ones. At least Abia State. What are they doing?
Abia, 89 billion.
Good. What are they doing with that 89 billion? Why is it that is in stock for them to pay? And I'm not sure the desire to borrow may have been stifled or has ended. So it could continue and they will go into another debt. But we are not...
Akwa Ibom, 230 billion. Why?
Akwa Ibom.
Why? What did they use it for?
Well, whatever. But that is the question for the chief executives. All the states, what are you doing? These debts you have, are they supposed to be? That is the question, because I don't know what
Ebonyi is 44.21 billion.
It's okay.
That's manageable.
It's okay.
Edo is at 80 billion.
Yes. And that tells us how huge corruption is.
Because
in this
most
country.
of that earnings goes back into buying petrol.
You know, the point is that all this why. Oh, yes, I agree with you, because maybe that $80 trillion, maybe we may have spent 60 trillion on buying petrol. You know, on buying petrol. So the point there is that it tells us of the kind of leadership we have in this country. It tells us the kind of nasty planning we have in this country. It tells us that, yes, as a nation, we have not really fixed our... I heard of one statement made by, whether it is true or not, I read it in social media. I've not confirmed from the main media.
So don't say it then.
North Korean president or chairman, to give him Ghana and Nigeria to colonize, he will turn them around. In fact, he will make them to be world-class countries within a year.
Has he made his own?
The question I asked, how developed is North Korea?
Okay.
But whatever it is.
No, but if you check what they are going through, you know that he's trying.
Yeah.
What are they going through?
Whatever it is.
Hunger, the natural disaster, everything. But he's managing, even moving into producing nukes.
Yes, now, because
that's what he's about.
That is all he's about. The people there are dying and starving.
It's the backward economy. It's not
South Korea. The nukes is developing is just as a defense for the fact that he wants to remain an emperor there.
The guy doesn't want to be looked on his face directly.
All that we are saying is this. You see, all these things, you know, they all boil down to all that we have been narrating in this on this platform concerning the restructuring of this country. There's no way we can develop and move forward economically. And two, power has been taken away from the people for a long time. So the people cannot hold their leaders accountable. The people cannot question certain things.
All right.
And anything can go in this country.
Okay.
And that's where we are.
We have Arachuku Paul Obonya. He's a National Coordinator, Civil Rights Council. Good to have you. Good morning.
Thank you, madam. Good morning.
Morning. So I already mentioned that of Ebonyi for you. You said it's fair, 44 billion thereabouts. So.
What is the ending of Ebonyi?
But it's better. The end is vis-a-vis the other states. Is that why they're taking 500 and 200?
proportional.
It's proportional. The ones I don't get are these ones I mentioned earlier. It doesn't make sense.
It's painfully unfortunate.
At least they didn't go borrowing so much. We still want to ask what they used the 44 billion for.
To me, it's painfully unfortunate and regrettably unimaginable the mental construct of those in power and what they consider the political economy that drives decision making. Lending and borrowing is all about economics. Now, as my friend here said, there's nothing wrong with borrowing, but there must be a strategic plan on what to put the money into, how to recover it, and how to pay back. For instance, you don't just borrow for the purpose of borrowing. It's like borrowing to pay salaries or borrowing to run government in terms of overhead costs, cost of administration. That is, to me, is stupid and criminal. If you borrow for capital projects, not that you make an investment and recoup the money from the investment you have made. For instance, if a man borrows money to say, I want to build an airport, and the airport has economic value, you can say that if I put $50 million in developing this airport, in the next 10 years or 15 years, I should be able to recoup the $50 million, possible plus the interest, and pay back to whoever I got the money from. You don't just pile up debts. But in this part of the world, people borrow to run administration, people borrow to pay salaries, people borrow and put the money into throwing parties and birthdays, and there is no plan for repayment of such money. And of course, this interest keeps on accumulating and accumulating over and over again. And the of governance, people must get more involved in politics. People must begin to demand for political accountability. People must begin to hold those in power responsible. Or else the situation will degenerate and children yet unborn will grow up to pay debts, which them and their fathers never enjoyed the dividend nor could they give any account of. So the Nigerian masses must massify and...
National leader of the All Progressive Congress disclosed that the country is competing with bandits to recruit unemployed youths. Tinubu also explained his choice of Kano State as the venue for his 12th colloquium and 69th birthday, saying it was to prove to I don't need a passport or a visa to get to Kano. So many others will have peace of conscience and live in peace and harmony. That is what Gandhiji and I are representing to show to Nigerians, and that is the purpose of the colloquium. The Yoruba man can show the entire nation working on sugarcane farms can do much more things like horticulture. We can create jobs. So he says, look, we're trying to, or she says, we're fighting with the bandits and Boko Haram for the eligible youths in Nigeria. He says, unless we continue to recruit them en masse, we're leaving them for the budding industry of insecurity. He proposed taking 50 million Nigerian youths and drafting them into the army and security agencies.
Well, that would have been a better service to the nation because it will indeed deplete the ranks of the unemployed youth. However, will government be able to pay? Look at the minimum wage since it was the president agreed and all that. It was some states are not still paying minimum wage 30,000. Now, if for instance what Tinubu says is embarked upon and accepted, you take 50 million. You know that the bandits, militants, all the rest of them won't have where to go and draw them from again, and then there is nobody that will be gainfully employed. I said this thing yesterday. That will leave his employment to go and then start doing all these vices, committing them and all that. But the ability to pay is very paramount. Now, if pay, let them hear that Tinubu's this thing. But in terms of extolling the virtues of Fulani and Yoruba, well, that is neither here nor there for me.
Well, I don't know how many, you're proposing how many million youths?
50 million.
15.
50
million youths.
Yes.
Then who will remain as a youth now? When they're all recruited into the...
They're still youth, but they're doing what they're doing now.
The point is that into the army.
Yeah. And security agencies.
What is the population of Chinese army that has 1 billion population?
We're under police, as it were.
Yeah. I'm talking of, yes.
We're under police.
No, but...
Grossly under police.
Yes, I agree, but not that kind of figure Tinubu is banned. If they make a president of Nigeria
opinion.
tomorrow, can he implement that? Where is the resources to sustain that? He's not even talking of creating all the security. I think.
Well, I guess for him, once you have security in check, everything else can grow, can bud.
You see, development must be holistic. It's not attending to one particular area, leaving the rest. It does not. That does not mean development at all. Okay. So if it comes and it neglects power sector, say it's going to face security, there will still be issues. It will not develop the economy. It's like what I say concerning our own state here. It can be saying you're providing infrastructure, roads and bridges, and you neglect agriculture, then why are you consulting the roads? Is it not because of other sectors like agriculture, manufacturing? If that area is not attended to, then in the next 5 years, these roads will be they'll be potholes. Yeah. They'll be calling for attention, for maintenance. So it must have to touch every aspect of our human life in your planning. If you are planning and your planning does not touch every area of our human life, it is not planning. It's not development. That's my take. So Tinubu, if is appearing to be the president of this country, let us see his policy document. Let us see his blueprint, and let us, scrutinize whether these things are feasible or not. This suggestion here, yes, is personal, but it's a selling point to those who want to be captivated with this kind of narrative. But it is not feasible for me.
All right, then. What are your thoughts there? Chukwupaul Wonder.
You see, it is very, very instructive that Nigerians should begin to watch very meticulously, a bit religiously, the character, tendencies, and idiosyncrasies of elements or persons who aspire to power. You should assess them by the words of their mouth and then use that to begin to assess or evaluate what will be their capacity or capability. Tinubu's opinion, as far as I'm concerned, is cheap and simplistic. Look, to remove Nigerians out of the streets and to solve the problem of security is very simple. Let us go back to agriculture. The Europeans did it. We can try plantation agriculture. If as of today the Nigerian government choose to go back to the plantation agriculture, that's the plantation established by the Europeans that has been abandoned. I'm talking of palm plantation. I'm talking of rubber plantation. I'm talking of various forms of timber plantation, to employ youths to begin to work in these plantations, and that products from those plantations should be exported for foreign exchange. We have solved the problem of unemployment. What if government choose to revive and bring back to life moribund government industries? Various states of the federation, government of the federation have many industries that have been allowed and abandoned to die. If we tell building more, let us just revive the old ones and get them functional. Definitely you solve the problem of insecurity. You get practically every... Where is Nigerian Shipping Company? Where is Nigerian Airways? I'm talking at the national level. And various other government companies and establishments that have been allowed to die. Just revive them. Let them start functioning. Let the Nigerian Railway start functioning in its full capacity. Definitely, you get everybody something doing. The economy is already large enough to accommodate a lot of people. We don't even need to build more just to sustain and maintain the one we have. Again, let nobody look at the problem of insecurity in the country from the point of view of what is going on in the various war theaters. Insecurity starts when you do not give your citizen proper orientation and proper quality education. Will it not surprise you that in recent times, each time I come out of my office or I'm going out, by 8 a.m. you see students on the road. Come out by 10, you see them. Come out by 11, 12, 1, 2, 3. I don't know whether they learn on the streets these days. Primary school children, secondary school children, you see them on the street from 6 in the morning till 6 in the evening. Even sometimes 7 in the evening. You still see people wearing uniform. As a group of students, are you people learning on the road? Do you go to school, even if you are saying, because in those days when you go to school, there will be a break. You won't see anybody again. During break time, you see children come out. Then even if it is where people go to school in the afternoon, when they go, the other ones have gone. But you see people 8, 9, every hour, every 30 minutes, children are coming back. Some are going forward, some are coming backwards. So what are they learning? That is insecurity already. Because how come you get out on the streets in the morning, you see young men that are doing nothing, moving from one bed house to the other with their trousers almost at their knee, moving along the streets.
They're looking forward to bed.
Not moving around, their food is not secured, nothing about them is secured. Then you don't want the ranks of Boko Haram to be swallowed. And somebody comes to say, I'll give you 2,000 naira a day to fight.
Yeah.
And I'll provide you food twice a day to fight. And he will call that one captain.
And some drugs too while we're at it.
And call that one captain, giving him a big name. How do you want him not to know the branch of the militants and Boko Haram not to be swollen? What are we even doing?
With these jobless youths.
With these jobless youths. So we have to engage them in the form of education and technical education. They mustn't go to primary and secondary. We have technical colleges. Why can't we push them there to go to our technical colleges are dead. Our teacher training colleges are dead. Only the polytechnics. Why not push them?
We got your thoughts, so we'll have to take a break because of the news. But just before we leave, there's something Tinubu said where he says about Yoruba and Fulanis and how, peace and everything. And he says he's in Kano. He doesn't need a visa to go to Kano and all. I just saw this on Twitter, and I just want to mention it before we wrap up. This is from Jide Japan. He tweeted, he said, Nigeria is visa free to Iran. You don't see Nigerians going to Iran. So what do you mean? Lagos doesn't need a visa to go to Kano. Who wants to go to Kano? See, the truth about it is just what all of us here have been saying. We need to engage the youth more positively. I understand that, yes, we're under-policed and we need to see recruitment into the ranks and file of our security institutions. But there's a bigger field where this jobless youths can be engaged in, and that will be most beneficial to the nation as a whole. We'll come back to the questions that we've raised and then perhaps read more on the newspapers when we return after the news update.
This is Today 95.1 FM, Port Harcourt, voice of the people. Every day, every hour, when the big stories break, depend on our 24-hour news team to bring you the latest. Today, 95.1 FM.
Port Harcourt. News update.
Good morning. Here's the news update on Today 95.1 FM. I am Annie Abdel Salam. President Muhammadu Buhari will today travel to London, the United Kingdom, for a routine medical checkup. This was announced in a statement issued by the special advisor to the president on media and publicity, Femi Adesina. Before departing the country for the UK, President Buhari is expected to meet with the security chiefs this morning. He's expected back in Nigeria during the second week of April 2021. River State Governor Nyesom Wike says he will not be intimidated over who becomes the next Chief Judge of the state, disclosing that he has sent to the State House of Assembly the letter of recommendation from the National Judicial Commission, NJC. Speaking when he received the delegation of the Opo Club of Nigeria on a courtesy visit at Government House in Port Harcourt, Governor Wike said the process of appointment of a substantive Chief Judge is based on constitutionality and not sentiment. Governor Wike said he made no recommendation, adding that his responsibility is to act on the recommendations of the NJC, just as he said that the Constitution makes it clear that it is only the NJC that has the power to recommend who becomes a Chief Judge. He hinted on the possibility of establishing a new judicial division in the state, particularly in Bonny, in order to reduce the problems associated with justice delivery in that area. The River State Police Command has commenced the vaccination of the officers of the command. The flag off of the vaccination was led by the Commissioner of Police, CP Eboka, Friday. Shortly after the vaccination, the CP stated that it was necessary to take the vaccines and be better positioned to deliver quality policing services without fear of contacting the virus, thanking the High Command of the police for making the vaccines available. In a statement by the Command Public Relations Officer, Nnamdi Omoni, this vaccination exercise will be taken to all police formations across the command. On the foreign scene, China has passed comprehensive changes to Hong Kong's electoral rules, which will tighten its control over the city. The number of directly elected seats in parliament has been cut over during the National People's Congress NPC meetings earlier in March. But today, the country... Today, 95.1 FM, good morning.
My name is Ifeanyi. I'm calling you from... Hello?
Yes, today, 95.1 FM, good morning.
My name is William. I'm calling from Port Harcourt.
All right, William from Port Harcourt, go ahead.
Talk radio.
You have a right to say no, right? All
I'm
right.
calling from Unipua.
Okay, thank you so much from Yenagua.
We are the station that needs no introduction. Of course, you know, we give the best in news, sports,
You like football, right?
entertainment, politics,
Talk radio.
We're right before you. It's just a dial away. This is your number one premium talk radio. Today,
1 Iliosu Port Harcourt. Call us.com. Choose Returns Market Multipurpose Cooperative Society Limited.
The hottest and latest news when it happens.
Also, now when we say 1 year mentorship, we meant that after training you, we shall be taking you by hand to our site, to other contract that we have, and then we expose you. We call it site experience. Now, after training you also, whenever you get a job or a contract, you call on us, we sponsor you, we help you to get that job executed. Awesome. You can only get this kind of offer from F&M Paradise Image Concept. This is amazing. Now, however, in this training, you're going to become a posy graphic engineer, a posy, contractor. You're going to become importer, exporter. You can become, a distributor, a retailer, a dealer of the chemicals and materials. You can just choose to be whatever you want to become after training you. This is amazing. Now, listen, this training is not for only male. It's for both male and female. Are you out of job? Are you a builder? Are you a contractor? Are you an architect? Are you a painter? Are you an exterior decorator? Are you an event management expert? Are you a tiler? Are you a screeder? Whatever position you are, whatever profession you are into, you can acquire a new skill. Are you a doctor? Are you a lawyer? Come, let us train you on this. We call it copy and paste. It's the best interior decoration that have lasted over 50 years abroad, but then it's new in Nigeria. Don't you think that if you learn it now, you'll be on the front burner? So that when companies are looking for people who can install it, the opposite floor in their warehouses, the opposite graphic floor in offices, like government houses, like churches, like mosques. Are you aware that people are no longer using, tiles in the first place? Now, whenever you check on this internet, you see some pictures in the house, in homes, where dolphins are playing, where sharks are opening their mouths. Those are beautiful interior decoration. That is what has come to take over from, the use of tiles. Of course, you should know by now, nobody is using rug again. Nobody is using carpet now. Nobody is using tiles now. What we are using now is what we call 3D epoxy graphic floor. However, beloved listener, do well to identify with this training. The date of this training is 1st of April. That is Thursday through Saturday, the 3rd of April 2021. Now, don't miss out. The total cost of this training you are supposed to pay is 150,000. But the church and some individuals came together and said, no, let us subsidize the rate, and so let's make it easier for our people. Anyone who is interested, you're only going to pay 11,000 naira. This is opportunity you should not miss. Please don't miss this opportunity. It's a rare opportunity. Take advantage of this information. Write the number down, 08033646687. The number again to call. Either send SMS, I'm interested, or you send WhatsApp message, I'm interested, to this number, 08033646687. Now, after training you choose to become whatever I want to become. We have said it before. However, once again, the number to call is 08033646687. Quickly write the number down. The number to call for the last time is 08033646687. Now, you can sponsor somebody. Are you a pastor? Are you a bishop? Are you a reverend? Are you a local government chairman? Are you a governor? Whatever position you occupy in the society, please do well to sponsor somebody. That person you sponsor today can be useful to you tomorrow. Now, you that is listening to me, you have nothing doing. Do well to come for this training. God bless you. Looking forward to see you. Shalom. God bless you. Thank you.
Hello. I'm actually looking for a place where I can do very good jingles.
Call this number.
What about a place where, like a comfortable place where I can record and produce my programs?
Call this number.
Sorry, this one is actually very important to me. I'm also looking for a good radio station where I can place my adverts. This one is actually very important to me.
This number.
This number.
Today, 95.1 FM, the voice of the people. The voice.
0818 389 2850. 0818 389 2850.
Live from the Garden City of Port Harcourt, Nigeria. This is Today 95.1 FM.
Wake up to today's quest.
Wake up.
All the news and information you need in one go. Get started with the best of sports, lifestyle, analysis, and Annie.
Can you feel it? Can you feel it?
Can you feel it? Wake up to today's quest with Annie on Today 95.1 FM from 6 to 11 a.m. weekdays. Fantastic.
All right, then. So we're back at 16 minutes after 9. You're listening to Today 95.1 FM. And let's move on now to one more story that we'll take from here before we get to opinion poll. The one story that we have here, we're looking at the audacity of non-state actors. I don't know if that's supposed to be the opinion poll that we're just talking now. Well, let's check it. Exploiting overstretched centralized security architecture, heavily armed non-state actors have apparently added state governors to their hit menu. The quirky list of armed red-eyed non-state actors are lengthening by the day, as well as the fogginess of their specific profile: rogue headsmen, bandits, robbers, kidnappers, separatists, rustlers, Boko Haram terrorists, et al. In incremental audacity, some of this group of brigades or brigands have tweaked their grisly playbook, and now state governors are fair game. Even the recent shoot-on-sight order by President Muhammadu Buhari has seemingly not proved much of a deterrent. Perpetrators are seldom found, and there have been only few convictions. But things appear to be coming to a head when they started boldly targeting state governors. On Saturday, March 20th, Benue State Governor Samuel Otto was attacked and narrowly escaped with his life. Although several questioned the governor's narrative, President Buhari confirmed and condemned the attack. The president also called for an open and transparent investigation of the attack, saying whoever is linked to it should be caught and be made to face the law. According to the governor, the attack occurred when he visited his farm in the state. Governor Otto specifically linked the attempt on his life to suspected Fulani herdsmen, alleging that his bold campaign against open grazing was the reason. The police have since commenced an investigation into the attack. Meanwhile, the Mieti Allah Cattle Breeders Association of Nigeria distanced itself from the alleged assassination attempt on Governor Otum by gunmen on Saturday, March 20th. The Headers Group Secretary General Usman Baba Ngezama asked Otum not to politicize criminality, counseling him to alert security agencies for proper investigations. According to Baba Ngazama, the Mieti Allah is not a criminal organization and did not at any time meet to plan Otum's killings, as Benue State Governor alleged. However, Baba Ngazama condemned the attack on behalf of MACBAN. He added that if there was truly an attack on the governor, the security agencies should be alerted to conduct a proper investigation. He denied Otum's claim that MACBAN held a meeting in Adamawa State to plan his assassination. The emerging question is why headsmen are fairly or unfairly taking a lot of the blame for much of the depredations at the center of much of the crisis in the Middle Belt and southern regions. Farmer-heather clashes are fingered as the key enabler of the impunities. And when major religious figures wade in to justify and defend bandits and herders, often bloody impunities, many rational stakeholders are left scratching their heads in utter puzzlement. This scenario simply stokes dissent and anger. In another befuddling development, a group known as Fulani Nationality Movement claimed responsibility on the attack on the Benue governor. Last November, at least 9 people were killed when Boko Haram terrorists targeted a convoy belonging to Governor Babagana Zulum of Borno State. Members of Boko Haram group attacked the convoy at Gijiram, Mongonu Road, killing 7 soldiers. Governor Akume, the governor of Benue State, narrowly escaped death when his convoy came under small arms fire by unidentified gunmen some 150 kilometers from the capital, Abuja. Last week, governors of Sokoto, Katsina, and Zamfara states sought the assistance of the European Union in ending security challenges in their respective states. EU Ambassador to Nigeria, Kittle Carlson, said the meeting discussed insecurity in the region, regional dimensions of the conflict, influence of the Sahel conflict, and arms proliferation. In his words, we all have programs already on ground in the Northwest. We have humanitarian programs and development cooperation. We also engage in political discussion at federal, states levels, and civil societies. He said the EU and its partners are already providing support and assistance to the Northwest and hopes to establish more opportunities. Apparently, these brigands are emboldened by the day, reading the body language of the national leadership, which centrally controls the national security architecture. Meanwhile, a very real danger mounts as the country is taken over by non-state actors. So we have that the audacity of non-done in insecurity. The plan of Tinubu, who says, put in 50 million Nigerian youths in there and we'll be able to secure that situation. What do you think, Emmanuel? If you had more security details, perhaps there won't be an attack on Autumn.
I think so. See, Tinubu's suggestion might look bizarre or might actually be bizarre, but it is a suggestion born out of frustration. There is nothing anybody can do again. You see, what this particular writer is saying, more or less, is the truth. The non-state actors are taking the center stage. They are doing what government should indeed be doing by saying, as soon as they raise their hand and say, halt, then they'll be calm. But it is not going on. Rather, it is these non-state actors, whether in form of bandits, kidnappers, and all the rest of them, that are wreaking the havoc and that are having the authority, that are challenging even government. I tell you, all along I say that nobody can be stronger than government, but it looks as if it's winning. Such authority of at least Nigerian government is winning, because I can't see where you have a governor going with the retinue of aides. I wouldn't know whether Autumn wasn't in a convoy the way they usually go. If he was, then you can see the audacity those people have, the daredevilry in attacking him. That means those people don't mean anything to them again. And they just came, attacked Autumn. If not that Autumn was maybe what we learned when we were in primary school, Fedipides of one, let's say, ran. The way he ran made them maybe miss him. You see? Whatever. But so I am saying that truly the people are becoming more brazen by the day. And government, you see, this is accentuated by the body language in those of them that are experts, and again the actual reaction of government. Because when you hear up to now, nobody has been able to fish out these people. I'm sure they must be lurking within the horizon of Benue State. And if it is exactly where government is decisive, they would have been picked. At least one person that could lead the way to others. But we've not read such. If they have been found, maybe still undercover. We've not heard it. Now, I am thinking that if you also check what is happening in Kaduna State, it's like these people don't mind about the architecture of security. They don't care about it again because to them it doesn't exist. When you hear that a military barrack is very close to where such an incident happened of kidnapping and all that, are they afraid at all? No. And the like I said, is accentuated by the activities of government. You will also see that the military itself will keep quiet, whether by omission or commission, keep quiet until they leave before they come. Then what is going on? Are we no longer having government in this country? And if we do, why would government sell its birthright as Esau did to Jacob? Allow renegades to be overwhelming them. So for me, I think what this guy is saying is very correct. But how will it be tackled? It can only be tackled if government changes itself the way, if it turns a new leaf and then knows that, yes, it is having exclusive right for security. And so as a result, it should assert its authority on that line. And if it does so, making sure that it quells the bad activities of these brigands, that is the only way it can go. If you check, you see that when these people, these were before Benin, were able to come out and find out those responsible. It's not a matter of whether Fulani group or whichever claim responsibility. I'm talking about putting a stop to it by saying, at least we'll pick one of these people. And I tell you, when that particular individual is picked, he will be singing to lead the security operatives, decisive security operatives, to where others who are faithless are hidden. But nothing of such.
Let me get to Dr. Obidima.
Well, we have to look at the immediate and the remote causes of the festering of these non-state actors, because there are two categories. The non-state actors that pose these security challenges, the international dimension, the transnational dimension, and also the ones that are not into this kind of criminality. But we are looking at the criminal aspect of these non-state actors. How did it fester? Why are we where we are today? The reason is that we could not nip this in the bud when it started. And also, as it was going on, a particular section of this country felt that they will protect their own. The elite within that section, the northern section of this country, felt that they were trying to protect their own. Any kind of stuff that time. We had the uproar in this country from the northern edge, embodied to the point that as they kidnap, they get money for ransom and use it to purchase arms and recruit youths and pay them what Nigerian government cannot pay a professor. You know? And the people say, oh, this is money. And their parents, they are sending money to their parents, and their parents are happy. In a very poor situation we are. They are eating at least. And we are dealing with people who feel that when they die in such a process, they are going to paradise to get how many virgins. So it is a kind of an excited enterprise for some people, even their parents and their relations. They support with money they get from these people because they pay them in dollars. In dollars. You know? And when they
we're assuming they pay them in dollars.
Yes,
because before they come and ask us, where did Obidima, you and Annie, where did you see this exchange?
Well, we have read that in literature. So now we are going to the part, the state and the Boko Haram, you know, there will be mixed multitude. Before you know it,
you can't tell the difference.
It will have another set of problems.
All right, then.
So Now, up till now, yes, Buhari directed that anybody holding AK-47